Something old and something new for me today on Nelly's Nerd Cave. You've probably seen one of these before, but I haven't had one of these for at least 6 or 7, maybe longer years, and it's about time I got a new one. So join me in a moment to see what we're doing. Hello and welcome back to Nelly's Nerd Cave, where I look at different tech and I review different things that I am very interested in. And today is no different to any other day. What I'm going to be looking at today is something, like I said in the little thing at the beginning, is pretty much something old for me. However, this is new, modern technology in comparison to where I started. So what's in the box, I hear you all cry? Well, today I actually have a new 3D printer. This is the Anycubic Kobra S1 combo. You've probably seen these on the internet and you've seen these on YouTube, but why would this be any different to anything else? Well, when I first started, a lot of the 3D printers came as flat kits, just like the Prusa ones, and they weren't that good when I first started with this. Now the technology's got better, and I've decided, what the hell, let's buy a brand new printer and see where we go with this. This one is the combo pack, and I've seen some good things. It's supposed to be kind of a clone, like a lot of the 3D printers are. They're all a clone of each other. This one's supposed to be a clone of a very similar one that is kind of mentioned of what pandas eat. Yeah, so we all know what we're talking about. This one is the cheaper one, and I thought instead of spending over £1,000 on one, I would spend the 499 quid that this was and buy this. With that, I also got a few extra bits like some filament so that I could get started printing. I'm going to do an unboxing. I'm also going to look at how quickly we can get this up and running. Their website states that this should be running and functioning in 15 minutes or less. So let's find out if that's true. But first of all, let's unbox this baby and see what we've got. Alright, so got the box open. At the top of the box there's some Allen keys, and I'm assuming these are all the Allen keys that you'll need to unpack this thing and maintain this thing. Wonderful instruction manual. And if I pull this plastic bag, the box comes with it, as always. Okay, there we go. So this thing is very well packed. And already it looks way different to what I used to have many years ago. Started doing 3D printing as kind of a little bit of a hobby type thing, like most people do. Probably in 2015, so 10 years ago. At that time I was actually working for a college, and the college found this very interesting as well, and they wanted a 3D printing course that they could offer to people, so I learned everything. They paid for me to do anything and everything, and I learned all sorts, but the printers weren't that good at the time. 10 years is a long time to come. So this is obviously the back of the printer. Let's see, can I get this out? No, I'm going to pop it on the floor again.
12 o'clock midnight.
So fantastic printer by the looks of it. So the screen is attached, that's nice. Okay, it's fully maintainable. I can update the screen, little flap there to update it. This is the top panel. I'm going to keep the plastic on for now. And in the top, it looks like we have a series of instructions on how to remove the colour changing section. More foam than you can actually shake a stick at. Okay, so I've got to use one of the Allen keys and open the door. So what we're looking at is unscrewing these two screws here. This will then unlock the Ace Pro, as they call it. So we'll get the Allen key set out and let's figure out which one it is. I'm assuming it's this nice long one. He says, pushing it through the bag. Oh well. Yay, that's the correct one. Well done me. Okay, we'll take a look at that in a bit more detail later on. So next on the instructions is I need to remove a box, which must be this one. Lots of foam, so it's very well protected. Piece of foam here in the back. We'll take a look what's in the box in a minute. So first of all, there's still more screws. So we need to unscrew 4 screws from inside with the same little driver. And it's wonderful because it's got little arrows that point to everything. So that's really nice to see. Remember, I'm used to a 3D printer that I had to build myself and screwed it up many times. So this is really nice to actually get a printer that's already built, it's all ready to go. Unscrew a few screws and away we go. Now I have seen quite a few different people say that this little tray is going to be useless to me, but we'll see how we go. See what I can think of to make this thing useful. And there we go. It says. There we go. Fantastic. So this little tray comes out. Good. Again, pop this away. That's the build plate. Build plate, magnetic. Again, not seen these types of things, and it looks like there are 3 more screws that I need to unscrew to make sure that the build plate itself moves. So there's one in this corner. Well, so 3 screws taken out, pop them in the bag, and next it looks like I have the print head, which is this bit here, to remove, and I need a pair of cutters. It's a good job I have lots of tools, including myself, who is a tool. Let's cut that off. Okay. Great. So that's the printer section undone. So what's next then? So we got this bit and we just have this section here. This bit is what they call the Ace Pro. And this is supposed to be able to sit nicely on top of the printer, and I'll wait to take the plastic off later. What we're supposed to be able to do is slide this over, take out all the foam and the tubes, and this is supposed to dry your filament and feed it in, and there's 4 colours available. Apparently this printer can have up to 8, which is awesome. I think, you know, 8 colours is just going to be fantastic. Not sure how it works. I need to kind of think about it, because I like to figure out how things work, but not just filament in this bag, not just some filament in this bag, and these are the PTFE tubes that join everything together. So let's take a closer look at what was in that little cardboard box. So in this little cardboard box, we have a very nice USB stick. This must be the colour thing where we change our colours, because it's got 4 in and 1 out. That must be a spool holder, a UK power cable, another UK power cable. That must connect up somewhere, and I'll have a look at that shortly. They must be for things, these must be for... So that's for the filament hub that we've just seen. Spool holder, okay. Oh, that's useful. So that is a needle to unclog the actual thing itself, which is nice. See, I had a lot of faffing about when I first started this. There wasn't any tools like that about, so I had to kind of make them. Nozzle cleaners, they must need to go on. And then we have an air filter. So the beauty behind this thing then is that it must get rid of a lot of the stuff. So the air filter, from what I've read on the Tinterweb, dropping it, actually sits in the back of the device. So this actually sits right in the back. So now I've got my light, what we can actually see is at the back here we have this little grill, and behind there is a little fan. So you place the carbon filter into the slot, which is easier said than done. This carbon filter goes in, and now what we've got is we've got it all filtered out. So if you're using ABS, for example, where ABS uses and can produce a lot of fumes, it can be filtered as it goes through. The fan at the back will suck that through and be able to filter that for you. Now if we spin this thing round, what we can see is we've got quite a lot going on. We've got power up here for the Ace Pro, we've got power down here for the actual printer itself. We've got all the tubes and all the exit points for the tubes that go everywhere, so we should be able to get all this connected up. So I think first we take the filament hub screws and the filament hub, and then this has a 6-pin where this then plugs into the 6-pin slot. It does look like a very small PCIe adapter. We take this other cord, and this other cord links the Ace Pro to this. and it has a 4-pin. So it has a 4-pin and a 6-pin. So the 4-pin goes in there, and then the 6-pin goes to the Ace Pro. That, fantastic. That must go in there. Real. And if you can hear funny noises, I actually have neighbours doing work, which is not useful. These PTFEs go into one of each of these. So what you need to do is take these little blue tabs off and then probably put them back on before running the machine. And what these are going to do, they are going to prevent the PTFE tubes from falling out. So once you've got these on, they then go into the bottom of this one at a time. And the little clear plastic things make it look pretty. Just pop these back on. Alright, so this is all generally almost set up. I got the power plugged in. I'm going to switch on and we're going to see how all this actually functions. I'm going to take the plastic off some of these. We all like a bit of plastic peel. So I'm going to get a close-up of the screen so we can see the screen. Okay, so first power on. We have lights inside that are now functioning. You can't see those because you're zoomed in quite close. Now the website says, like I said earlier, it takes 15 minutes to get this set up. So we're going to see. So first of all, let's select as language. Ooh, we don't want to be seeing that, do we? Alright, so I have already signed up to the Anycubic website, and you've got a little app that you can use. And with the app you can literally add a printer and then scan the QR code. This then links it to the app and my account. Then it gives me my printer details. So next up you need the USB stick. You plug the USB stick into the side here. And then you let this thing do what it needs to do. And that's it finished. So I started this at around about 3 minutes to 8 British time. It's now 12 minutes past 8 now. So it's taken around about 15 minutes to complete this task. Now what I need to do is set up the other part, which is the top bit, which is this bit, the Ace Pro. Fabulous. So it's actually loading in the filament now. I shall open my second spool, which is a really nice orange that I really like. I'm going to get some more of this. And you'll notice that I'm spreading them out. I'm going to have these two as black and then two colours. Okay, that one didn't feed as well. Let's cut a bit more off and let's see. That's better. Just needed a better end. And as always, I'm forever making noise. So this thing actually has RFID or some kind of tagging system, so it knows what colours it is. So if we go to here, what we should be able to see is when we look at the actual screen, we've got different options, and you can see that it's picked my black up. So it's got my black colour, which is PLA+, which is correct, and it's picked up my orange as well. It dries this, so I can turn the dryer on. Does make a fair bit of noise, but hey ho. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this filament backup so that 1 and 2 are going to be black, so that then if I have a backup it goes automatically to that other one if one runs out. I just think that makes perfect sense to me. What I'm also going to do next is I'm going to update the firmware. Nothing like having nice firmware. Then I'm going to do a print. So I'll update the firmware, then I'll be back. Alright, so let's have a go at doing some printing. So apparently there are a few files on this thing itself. So you can first of all go start printing. On the local is a test model. And then hopefully you can see those. You've got a spool, you've got a benchy. Let's do a spider. going to do it in orange. And there we go. So let's see. Alright, so my first print's done. I printed out a spider and this is what it looks like. So and it's left the raft on, which is cool, quite like that. Now I'm going to have to try and get that off. Do that later. But looking at the print itself, the quality is absolutely fantastic on that. I think that's really nice. Compared to what I used to have, that's really good print. So, what do I think of this printer? Well, I think so far, now it's a bit quieter, it's good. I'll let you know once I've done some printing. I'm going to do some printing bits and pieces. And we will do an update on this as I go, especially when I'm doing little things that might interest you. It's not going to be part of the main channel, so I'm only going to do things when I feel that they kind of interest you as a viewer as well. But yeah, this, I think it's good for value for the money. £499 is what I paid for it. It was supposed to be £599, but they had £100 off it, which is really good. It didn't come with any filament, but fortunately I kind of bought some anyway. I've got a bit more coming, and I think it's really easy to set up. They claimed on their website 15-minute setup. They were absolutely spot on. It was done in about 11 or 12 minutes. And I think for a complete beginner, I'm not saying I am a complete beginner, but as somebody who hasn't done it for a while, I think this is kind of a good entry into 3D printing. If you've enjoyed what I've done and you've learnt something, even if that is kind of just watching me be an idiot and be a fool while I try to figure this out, then great. Please join me again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, then you can get all updates on my channel so that you can get all the latest updates. And if you've liked what I've done, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you later.